going, you guys. She's already got us live.
You want to seat it?
Sit, yes. Sit in the middle. Go ahead and have a seat. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jackie Dorst, and I'm a prayer chaplain here. And the first order of business is if you have a prayer that you would like to be added, your name to tonight, and your prayer to go to Silent Unity, please see Barbara.
When you say prayer, you mean prayer request?
Prayer request, yes. Okay. So I'm going to open with a prayer. And this prayer is written by a wonderful, dear friend of mine who is a practitioner for Centers for Spiritual Living. She's been here several times. She's a fabulous writer, and her name is Jan Ubersetzik. And this prayer is called Thankfulness. So please take a deep cleansing breath, a breath in gratitude, breath out uncertainty, breathe in promise, breathe out fear. Enter into this, your sacred space, your place where the heart and mind are open and ready to receive. The tensions of the day lift as I settle into this peaceful place and simply be. Be one with the infinite generosity of God. Be one with the competence of God. My good grows in the rich soil of my gratitude and is given to me in direct proportion to my willingness to accept it. With the recognition of my oneness with Spirit, I know that I am supported. Spirit conspires to bring to me all the abundance of this magnificent universe, the wealth of joy, of love, of life itself, the abundance of comfort that quiets, the abundance of strength that fires right action, the abundance of love that trust in the wisdom of Spirit. Spirit that with ease and grace guides the activities of my life. For every moment, I am fully present. For every feeling I allow, I am grateful for the potential of each day as another opportunity to release the power of my gratitude, to shuffle through a pile of leaves and listen to their laughter, to smile at every baby I see, to rejoice in that first light of morning, and those questions on jeopardy I sometimes know. My focus is on the gifts of Spirit, the privilege of the place and time and space that is mine, the uncompromised love that sustains me. My gratitude is a palpable joy as I wander in the memories of my heart and in the certain wisdom of what is to come. Each quiet moment equally significant in the eternal light of the divine. I grow my blessings with gratitude for the richness that surrounds me now, for the unceasing generosity of God, and for the beauty of form and consciousness that continues as my life. I acknowledge the presence of the divine. My gratitude spreads before me like petals of my path, showing the way to a greater and clearer experience of life, experience that supports an understanding of what is and expands my view beyond the visible. Life is warm and comforting. It is exciting and bountiful. I express life generously. I confidently, with gratitude, release my word into a loving presence that always says, yes, yes, yes. And so it is. Amen.
So I'm Reverend Greg Dorst, and I want to welcome you to Unity of Pasadena. Now you can tell we've done things a little differently today. You know, we've parsed out some of the things that are normally done by certain people to other people because we want full connection with everybody in here. We want to be able to do this thing beautifully today, because today is World Day of Prayer. And we want to be able to connect with ideas and thoughts, prayerful ideas and thoughts. We want to be able to connect with our source, with that creative energy which is God itself. And we want to be able to bring in and align with the qualities of this singular source that we call God or Spirit or universe, whatever you want to call it. And so you're going to be taken through a journey of some interesting quotes, prayers, and discussion and singing. Because today I'm your musician. I'm your musician. And so there are going to be some things that we're going to do today together, and that'll be a lot of fun. But first I want to talk just a moment about World Day of Prayer. What we understand about prayer, and let's call it concentrated thought for a second. I mean, you don't even have to think about it as prayer necessarily, because I don't want you to feel like prayer is a beseeching moment of begging or requesting with great emotion something be done by God, as if God were outside, an outside entity that needed to be pleased before it started to do anything or did anything that you wanted to do. I want you to feel that you are completely aligned with Spirit, and I want you to feel Spirit inside of you. That Spirit oftentimes is felt through love. And so the more love that you feel, the more alignment you have with Spirit. The more love that you feel, the greater the opportunity for you to heal from some of the things that we have kind of put upon ourselves to make life hard. You know, we as human beings operate in interesting ways. We are plagued by ideas of negativity which affect our health, not only our physical health, but our mental health. And so what we're going to do is we're going to clear all that out. We're going to clear all that out tonight, and we're just going to make ourselves beautiful, magnificent receptacles for peace and love and life itself. So what do you think? Do we have a deal? All right, deal. Isn't this a pretty guitar? Oh, by the way, I do need to welcome those that are streaming. And if you're streaming, hey, can you, is that streaming camera, can it see me? Oh, how cool. Very good. I can see myself if I look at this when it's all over. We're going to do a Karen Drucker song together. And this Karen Drucker song is There Is Only Love. How many of you know that song? Oh, very few? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. If you don't know the song, the words are up on the screen, but let me just play it real quickly once so that you get the tune, okay? In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes to see, you'll recognize this. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. We're going to start the song over now so that we can sing it all together, okay? You guys got the way the verse goes? In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes to see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Second verse. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. One more time. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Ooh, you guys are good. Barbara, I'd love to invite you up now for, are you doing the Daily Word today? Oh, fantastic. Give yourselves a hand, by the way, to that song. I was just kidding.
And there's another word. For today, it is gladness. And the affirmation is, I feel gladness deep in my soul. Gladness is that wonderful feeling when all parts of my life, inside and out, my body and my mind, my thoughts and my actions, are in easy harmony. There is such bliss in moving in rhythm with life. I feel part of everything, and I hold the entirety of the world within myself. In this place, I feel my oneness with God. I perceive the presence of God all around me. It's in the sights and sounds of nature, in the smiles and hugs of family and friends, but mostly it's in the connectedness I feel with all life and the profound contentedness I feel as a spiritual being, a beloved child of God. I am grateful to be in the flow of life, attuned to the world through my senses and to God through divine guidance. I am so very glad. And the scriptural reference for today is, restore to me the joy of your salvation and sustain in me a willing spirit, as from Psalm 51:12.
All right, good evening, everyone. So this year's affirmation is, I open my heart to healing in this moment. God's good, God's joy, God's love, God's grace is mine. God's good, God's joy, God's love, God's grace is yours. And that's the truth, right here and right now. So I'd like to tell you something that happened a few years ago. and it has to do with a prayer being answered. And prayers are answered, many different ways. It's infinite. It can be this gentle whisper. It can be a feeling of just joy, of a gentleness that you feel that you haven't felt before, a new way of being, and you wonder where it came from, and you're just happy you have it. So it's the whole gamut. Sometimes the prayer can be answered. It can be, sadly, it can be a fender bender because you need to wake up about something, and then you come to a realization. You look back and you realize, oh, okay, I'm growing, I'm learning from this, but there was an answer. I had to go through that to learn this. So the story that I'd like to tell you happened a few years ago with me. I was working 2 full-time jobs, a day job and a night job, where I could sleep. I was a caregiver for a woman who had a disability, and she was nonverbal and had no way to make breakfast. If she was let out of the house, she wouldn't even pay attention to traffic signs, so she needed someone there full-time. And I thought, I can do this. And so I did it for a year, but at some point during that time, I found myself in Target, and I was exhausted but didn't realize it. Because first it was like, oh yeah, Target, all the things I need. And but I came for a very, very specific thing, eye makeup remover. Because my self-care had kind of gone down, and I was walking around like a raccoon because I didn't have the right product. And it irritated me, and I thought, this is the most important thing today. So I had my cart full, and I realized I hit a wall. I was so exhausted. I wasn't just tired. It was that deep exhaustion where you just feel like you cannot move further. It was really deep. It was within my whole body, my mind, everything had just kind of wanted to shut down. I couldn't imagine going through the checkout line at that point. How am I even going to do that? And now I have to go to that busy aisle right there. It's full of carts and full of women looking for their makeup. And we take our time. We want to look good. We want to get that exact product. And I couldn't. So if I was a 3-year-old, I would have sat on the floor and had a temper tantrum. It was that awful. So then I'm at this aisle, and I can see that aisle I'm supposed to go to, and I can't. I just, that's it. I can't. And I hear a crash. A young teenager had bumped into an end aisle in front of me, and all these products were rolling out, fanning out. Shampoos, conditioners, smaller items, and a few rolled towards me, and I thought, I don't want to bend down and pick it up. I'm so tired. I can't even bend down and pick this up. But I saw everybody else. We all came together as a community. People picked up stuff and put it back. And the girl was horrified. She was covering her face, and her mom was soothing her. She was a young teenager, And I felt bad for her, and she just thought that was the worst thing in her life, And so as people were picking things up, I said, Helen, bend down and pick something up. So I bent down. I picked up 3 items, and guess what? I have it. I've been saving it because it reminds me. It was this. Neutrogena eye makeup remover. And I'm okay, is that a prayer being answered? I was like, you can't make this stuff up. If I told you that this is what I want to happen, they'd say, oh, that's very long-winded. And you look at how many people you involved. It's just for you. But I realized after I got it, they were still there, the mother and the daughter, and I went over there like a mad old tired-looking crazy woman, and I said, thank you so much for this. You don't know, God works in mysterious ways. I've been wanting this. And they looked at me sort of like, where'd that come from, But community, I thought about it in the bigger picture. Community came together. People all came and helped put it back. The young girl learned how to get through an embarrassment. Her mom was there to soothe her. I got a huge gift out of it. So what seemed like an accident, like a crash of stuff tumbling down, became a gift. So that is my little healing story of the day that, and I want to get I'm deciding whether to keep this as a reminder or to let it go so that more things can come in. I don't need to hold on to this, but I do get a little smile when I see it in the morning and like, oh yeah, that was that day. So anyway, let's know that, let's know this, prayers get answered, and sometimes they have to hit you over the head, which is what this was. So let's take a deep breath and go into the silence. So let's take a breath in and release. And let's take another deep cleansing breath in your own time, and release, and drop those shoulders just a bit. And relax your hands, relax your cheeks. And let's take another deep cleansing breath in and release. And let's know that God is always there. It can't be he, she, it. This divine entity cannot be here where we are. We are made of its very substance. And let's sit in 2 glorious minutes and celebrate the good, the joy, the love, the grace of God as we go into the silence. Let's bring ourselves back to the sanctuary. Remember this, you are divine because you come from the good of God. You start from the point of your divinity and move toward the sublime. You really are simply wonderful. Accept it, know it, be it, for you are it, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.
So I'm going to do something I've never done before, and there's a story behind it. I always like to tell stories. The spirituality of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore was unsurpassed. I mean, they were in prayer or meditation much of the day. They built their lives around receiving the guidance and wisdom from an intuition, a feeling, a knowing, and they expressed a desire to receive that. They were always open for something. So First of all, they express the desire to receive, and then they opened themselves up to do just that. Myrtle had a grove that she would go to out at Unity Village. How many of you have been to Unity Village? All right. Well, there's a little grove called Myrtle's Grove now, and it's quite small. There are really only about 12 trees there, and they make a little bit of a square. It's a very pretty area, just a beautiful area, and she would sit in the middle of those trees and she would meditate. And today, there is a plaque there that has a poem on it that she wrote. She wrote a poem, and the name of that poem is Love for Thee. That poem ended up in the book Letters of Myrtle Fillmore, Healing Letters of Myrtle Fillmore. And it's right near the beginning of the book in Healing Letters. And this is the poem. I'm going to read it. I think it's beautiful, and I'll tell you the parts that I think are really beautiful as we go through it. Love for Thee. The hours that I've spent with Thee are pearls of priceless worth to me. My soul, my being merge in sweet accord. What more could I desire? What more could I desire? In love for Thee, in love for Thee, each hour a pearl, each pearl a prayer. In love for Thee, in love for Thee, O glorious joy, Thy blessings to me. Now, I love that, what I've made a course out of. I made that the course of a song that I've done pursuant to that poem. I've always wanted to put this to music. And that's the course of the song, but it's a beautiful, beautiful, it's magnificent poetry. Each hour a pearl, each pearl a prayer. It just has a beautiful ring to it. And she goes on to say in the second verse of this poem, binding thy presence close to me, I only know that thou art there. And of course she's talking about spirit. She's talking about aligning herself with spirit. Binding thy presence close to me, I only know that thou art there, and I am lost in thee. O great and glorious joy, O Lord, my love is thee. She goes on to the third verse, and she says, "Oh, sweet visions of peace divine, my soul overflows as love expressed. The grace and beauty that I find, and the peace of mind, O Lord, what more could I desire?" So I spent the afternoon today putting some music to it. And so let's see how this turns out. You ready to enjoy this poem put to music with me? All right, so if you want, this is kind of got dreamy in character. You can close your eyes and enjoy it if you want. You know what the words are that are going to be coming. So just enjoy. Just sit back and enjoy. The hours I've spent with thee are pearls of priceless worth to me. My soul, my being, merge in sweet accord. What more could I desire? Oh, what more could I desire? In love for thee, in love for thee, each hour a pearl, each pearl a prayer. In love for thee, in love for thee, oh glorious joy, thy blessings to me. finding that presence so close to me. I only know that thou art there, and I am lost in thee, O great and glorious joy. O Lord, my love is thee. In love for thee, in love for thee, each hour a pearl, each pearl a prayer. In love for thee, in love for thee, oh glorious joy, thy blessings to me. Oh sweet visions of peace divine, my soul overflows as love expressed. The peace and beauty I find, and the peace in my mind. Oh Lord, what more could I desire? In love for me, thee, in love for thee, each hour a pearl, each pearl a prayer. In love for thee, in love for thee, oh glorious joy, oh glorious joy, oh glorious joy, oh glorious joy, thy blessings to me. Do 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 do. In love for thee, in love for thee, oh glorious joy, thy blessings to me. Myrtle Fillmore. It's nice to co-write a song with one of the greats of all time, you know. So what's next on the agenda? Oh boy, I get to say something. So you know, for a truth talk, I always have to go up there. So when I go up there, I shall be transformed. Hold on. Welcome. It's good to see all of you. So, those of you that haven't been here in a while, or I have never met you, I'd love to have you stick around afterward and talk, or just to exchange some ideas about what is going on in your life and what you may need prayer for if you do. We have a huge history of prayer here that sort of begins with Myrtle and Charles's love for prayer, but it has transpired into a vibrant prayer chaplaincy. mean, the people that you see up here, and including Jackie and Helen, are prayer chaplains here. And what that means is that they have each entered into a personal covenant that they'll be available for people who need prayer, for those moments when someone needs to move through something to get to the other side of it, to find a solution. We don't stay in the problem, and that's one thing that prayer chaplains quite well understand. We don't dwell on the problem. We don't want the problem to expand. And so as prayer chaplains and ministers, we learn that there's a solution, and that solution, first of all, is to become open. We become open to that solution. I said, I believe it was Sunday, that God is infinite potential. And that infinite potential is capable of healing you, but here's how it works. God's infinite potential is your infinite potential, for God works through you, not to you. As you know, as children, we understood God as being something that would, perform miracles for us if we were good, or answer prayers, or bring sadness or difficulty to us, maybe because we were bad. Things would happen to us. But as adults, we understand that this power, this infinite potential, works through us as us. And we align with the nature and quality of God to get exactly what God wants us to have, which is a life that is vibrant and full and beautiful and healthy and rich with all of the things that life can bring us. So we're told that we're made in the image and likeness of God. So if God is infinite potential, then so are you. That's where you're made in the image and likeness of God. Have you ever been told that there's nothing you can't accomplish? Have you been told that? Yeah, I know that I was told that. And I thought, well, that doesn't seem right. I mean, I have some limitations. There are some limitations in my life, no doubt. I can't be an NBA player, probably. I'm a good 5'10" still, But that's because I had a hip replacement, and that added about a quarter inch. But you're not going to see me dunking a basketball. You're not going to see me on a basketball court. And that's something that I would have loved to have done. But I don't have that kind of infinite potential. But what I can do is marshal life in a different way and do the things that are necessary for me to not only be happy, but to be healthy and whole and be a benefit to society. So, of course, I moved down a different path. But I know that there's nothing that I can't do on the path that I'm on, you see. There's nothing that I can't accomplish on this path that I have chosen. Now, sometimes choosing the path is difficult. We have to figure out where we're going to go to school, maybe. If you intend to go off to school or off to college, you have to figure out what you want to be. Maybe you were sort of forced into it because that's something that your family did, operated as a business or whatever it was. But you have to make some decisions, and when you finally make those decisions, you do the best you possibly can to be the best you possibly can, and there's no limit to that. And you know that. There's no ceiling on that. There's no ceiling on how good you can be. There's no ceiling on how much you can learn. There's no ceiling on how much you can give to other people. There's no ceiling on how much life you can bring to you, as long as you're open. Now, you can push it away if you want. You can push all of that good away. But we here in Unity don't practice that, because that's the problem. We practice the solution. We open ourselves up to that good, to our own divine potential. So this idea of prayer and World Day of Prayer is very, very close to our hearts, because it reminds us that what we do is we create our lives, and we do it through the way that we think, believe, and feel, which is the essence of a prayer. It's the essence of a prayer. Listen to some of the greats as they describe prayer. And I got to go to the book of Greg for this. Let's see where the book of Greg says, oh, yes, here it is. Fillmore, Charles Fillmore, he says, prayer is an affirmation of truth that eternally exists, that has not yet come into consciousness. It comes into consciousness not by supplication, which is asking or begging, but by affirmation, which is knowing that it has arrived. What he's saying is we have to claim it. We claim what it is that we need. It's all there for us. You know, our change of mind may be the acclamation that he's asking us to attain. You know, Charles Fillmore was one of many people in New Thought who had ideas around prayer and put them into practice and taught people throughout the ages how to pray effectively, how to use this power, you know, how to use this power for our benefit. One of Charles Fillmore's favorite prayer was this. It goes, "I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom." Wow, isn't that great? I am now in the presence of pure being, and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I acknowledge thy presence and power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom now erase my mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love bring into my world according to thy perfect law. You know, that is a 1900s way of saying, I am infinite potential. So Eric Butterworth also had a way of saying this. He sort of synthesized this, and he says the metaphysical perspective on prayer is a little bit different than other types of prayer because there is no absence of God ever. Rather, God is present, acting as us all the time. God is present as an allness of which you and I are an eachness. That's interesting languaging. God is present as an allness of which you and I are an eachness. Prayer is conditioning our life upon the activity of God. And we have some friends of the Fillmores and Unity as well that have great ideas around what this prayer idea, what this prayer and affirmative prayer is. Ernest Holmes, one of my favorites. I mean, what a magnificent philosopher, eloquent speaker. He said, "Perfect God within me, perfect life within me, which is God, come forth into expression through me as that which I am." This is his prayer. "Lead me ever in the paths of perfection and cause me to see only the good." Cause me to see only the good. I'm going to read that prayer again because it truly is a prayer. It's an affirmation. I mean, it's a prayerful affirmation. Perfect God within me, perfect life within me. Say that. Perfect God within me, perfect life within me. Come forth into expression through me as that which I am. Lead me ever in the paths of perfection and cause me to see only the good. Prayer is the only action in the full sense of the word because prayer is the only thing that changes one's character. This is Emmett Fox talking about how prayer changes the mind of the person praying. You see, that's what we pray for, to change our mind. Now, I could pray to change your mind, but that's certainly up to you. But praying changes the mind of the person praying. So prayer is the only real action in the full sense of the word because prayer is the only thing that changes one's character. A change in character or a change in soul is the real change. When that kind of change takes place, you become a different person, and therefore, for the rest of your life, you act in a different way. From the way in which you have previously acted to the way you act today depends upon your thoughts, your feelings, and the way you emote. The amount of difference may be only very slight for each time that you pray. Nevertheless, it is there. For you cannot pray without making yourself different in some degree. You cannot pray without making yourself different in some degree. So, World Day of Prayer is actually something that changes each and every one of us. You know, we're going to be hearing some prayer requests from people, and we're not going to get into what the problem is necessarily, but I am going to do a prayer for each and every one of those people, and each and every one of you, and for me as well, around divine life, which generally covers what we need to be perfect, whole, and complete in this life. And you're going to hear the action of prayer through my words. And I'm excited to do this because, you know, when we get these prayer requests, we take them seriously. Our prayer chaplains pray on any prayer requests that come through, and then we send them to Silent Unity, and Unity prays on them for 30 days. And what that does is move a consciousness of whatever needs to be aligned with you. A healing alignment, a perfect health. It moves a consciousness of the alignment of that perfect power of God, that nature of God, that aspect of God that's necessary to create the solution that you need. And so, yeah, where are we now? What do we have next? Oh, Paul. Paul's coming up. And what's Paul going to do? Good. I can't wait to have you come up in here and do what it is that you're going to do. Oh, great. All right, Paul, you tell everybody what you're going to do. That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Yesterday, in preparing for this particular moment, I came across something that I found very inspirational, and I would like to share it with you, if I may. Precious one, there's a beautiful and wonderful spirit alive inside of you. Spirit lives in your lungs that breathe in and out for you. Spirit sees the world through your eyes. Spirit loves the world with your heart. Spirit speaks to the world with your tongue. Spirit cares for the world through your soul. You are inextricably intertwined with the loving Spirit. There cannot be any separation. Your arms reach out and Spirit embraces you. Think about this for a moment. You are Spirit. You are Spirit. You are Spirit. Is this amazing to you? Does this not show you how much power you have? Does this not tell you how important you are? Does this not prove to you that your existence here is vital? You are Spirit. You do make a difference. Your life touches everyone and everything. You have every power that Spirit has at your disposal. Now take it, feel it, claim it. Make the best use of it that you can. Don't look back at what you did or didn't do in the past. Look forward and know that in this moment you have the power to change everything. Choose it, choose wisely, choose Spirit. Peace be with you. Namaste.
The prayer list for today. Carlotta, Tony, Cassie, Christina, Luce.
Mary Lou Rice, Judy, Gloria, Diana, Mark, Jude.
Alma, Alea, John, Rosalind, and Jeanette.
Beth, Sandy, Haley, Nat, Andrea.
Marvin, Diana, Jay, William, Barbara.
Ron, Nathan, Stellar, Virginia, Debbie.
Emily, Paul, Lucas, Johnny, Sheila.
Mabel, Dorothy, Alexandra, Sandy, Bonnie, and Linda.
Sandy, Tim, Brett, Consuelo, Tammy.
Sherry, Bob, Chris, Barb, Fred.
Teresa, Jonathan, Pierre, Harriet, Gunda.
Lori, Mark, Jackie, Janice, Raymond.
Raymond's mom and dad. Michelle, Dean, Jeremy, Hope.
Alma, Gloria, Becky, Julie, and Debbie.
Michelle, Anastasia, Taylor, Blata, Woder.
'89ers, Karen, Hope, Ollie, Becky.
Trish, Gloria, Jacob, Michelle, and Anastasia.
Jude, Apple Incorporated, Lark, Hope, and Rosalind.
Jeremy, Michelle, Anastasia, Karen, Christina.
Julie, Gloria, John, Nico, and Adam.
Sherry, Rusty, Cody, LeVar, Ombi.
Billy, Mikey, Dean, Clark, David.
Jaden, Willow, and daughter, Morgan, Linda, and Paul.
All world leaders, all those needing help and guidance, Helen, Victor, Victoria.
Vila, Esperanza, Pat, Matthew, Katarina.
Michelle, Lily, Beto, Lizzie, and Joan.
Harish and family, Roland Wilhelm, Helmy, Bill, and our country.
Marty, Betty, Jim, Healy.
Nancy, Maria, Lainey, Roger, and Mary.
Carolyn, Cecilia, Gay, B, Sandy.
Trish, Our Planet, Joy, Jack, Reverend Bev, Suzanne, and the Lamb family.
I want you guys to stay here, to stand right up here, please. And I want you to be a part of this because I know that my consciousness is strong. I know that my prayer life is strong. And I know that the prayer lives of each and every one here are very strong. And when we add into the mix of mind, consciousness, love, caring, divine life, each of the ones up here, when they're here for the prayer and they hear the words and they express it within themselves, it becomes even more powerful. It's got a synergistic effect. Prayer has a synergistic effect. There is more power with two people than there is with one. There's more power with three than there is with two. There's more power with four than there is with three. Are you catching my drift? There's more power with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's more power with each and every one of us, with each person that stands, with each person that gets involved in this prayer. The power increases. It absolutely does. There's more people brings about a greater consciousness. And so here's what I want to do right now. I want to enter into prayer around not only all of the people who are on the list, but all those in the world, in the universe, wherever you may allow your mind to go, that all people, all sentient beings, all whatever aspect of life, we want to see in our hearts and in our minds a growth in happiness and joy and prosperity. We want to see in our mind's eye the good come to each and every living thing. Now that's a form of praying for peace, to see the good in every living thing and know that it exists and claim it for each and every living thing. And we do that right now. And so let's take a deep breath and release it. And what we do is we become open. We just allow ourselves to open up to the power, whatever that is, whatever you believe that power is. Let yourself open up to it. Feel yourself opening. Feel your heart opening. Recognize and know that the presence of this source of all power is right here, right now, in this very space, in, around, and through this magnificent sanctuary here at Unity of Pasadena, in, around, and through each and every person in this beautiful sanctuary. This amazing power and presence permeates each and every one of us, and we align with it right now. We claim love. We claim divine love as we recognize and know that each and every being everywhere is loved by us right now. And we begin that process by loving ourselves. And as we love ourselves, we recognize that we can heal. And as we love each other, we recognize how we can all heal. And as we bring love to whatever is going on in the world, we recognize how the world can heal. We claim it now, not only for ourselves, but for everyone, for every being, for every living thing, anywhere, everywhere. We claim it. We align with it. And for whatever the prayer need, we recognize and know that love heals. Love absolutely is the good of life that makes things better, that brings us to a state where we are absolutely knowing that there's only one thing, that we are all one. We are made of that sum and substance of Spirit of God. Simply, each and every one of us is loved so much that God simply became us. And so we recognize divine life in everyone who was on the list. We recognize divine life in each and every one of us. Whatever the need, divine life, that life of God, brings about a change for good. If it's your health, that change is for good. If it's your prosperity, that change is for good. If it's your creativity, your job, that change is for good. If it's for your relationships, that change is for good. And what we do is we allow it to permeate ourselves so that we can be a benefit to the people on the list, to the people of the world. We want peace, so the best thing we can do is simply become it. We want love. The best way to do it is to become it. And we wish to see divine life, and the best way to see it is to become it. We claim it. We know it as ours, and we're grateful for it. We're so grateful for this knowing. We're so grateful for this time together, for this synergized moment where we're able to bring together the consciousness of not just me, but our prayer chaplains and everybody in this sanctuary. It's a magnificent moment. We claim it as good. And so we take that thanksgiving into our hearts. We release these words into the law of mind, which always says yes, which is creative. And together we say, and so it is, amen. Thank you guys for staying up here with me. Appreciate it. I'm going to help you down, Anita. You bet. And you too, Luann. Bill, you're going to be helped down too. Because I know what you got going on. These steps are rough. Yeah, right. Well, thank you very much. So you guys truly have participated in this World Day of Prayer by bringing your consciousness to bear. And I think that Unity of Pasadena is a benefit to the world. I think that Unity of Pasadena is a beacon of light that helps people to regain a footing, that allows people to meet and connect with people who are of like mind and who are receptive to one another, and in this space we heal one another. I mean, that's the way it is. You know, that connection nowadays, we know, even psychologists will all say it, doctors, scientists will all say that that connection is the most healthy thing you can have. And that when you connect in a way that brings good to bear, that brings health to bear, your connection is incredibly powerful. And that's what we do. I mean, that's the mindset we have when we walk in here. And we say to each other, it's so good to see you. You know, you are that expression of the divine. You have to be. I mean, if you believe in that anything has power, your power, that makes you an expression of that power. And so we just revel in that, knowing that Unity of Pasadena is good and very good. And if you'd like, on the way out, there's a basket, and you can contribute in the basket to the good that Unity of Pasadena does, to the functioning of this beautiful space that allows us all to get together and become who we are, always moving forward, always growing, always being of service to the planet, to each other. I mean, that's what we claim, and that's what we do. In that spirit, this closing song was written. I wrote this closing song while I was on the Pacific Crest Trail. I was on a portion of the Pacific Crest Trail, and I was looking at the beauty around me and recognizing that I was absolutely at one-ment with it, at one-ment. I saw the trees, I saw the animals, I saw the grasses and the beautiful species of plants, and felt at one-ment with them. And in that moment, I absolutely felt the oneness with everything, all people, all sentient beings, as well as the plants and the trees and all of the things that I could see. I felt at one with everything. I mean, true unity was coursing through my veins. And in that realization, I recognized that I was not just me, this thing called Greg, but I was you too. I was not just me, I was also the plants and the trees and the animals that I could see. I felt a complete and total oneness with that. And I felt that as a person that recognizes it, then helping one another, loving one another, as me, is a much easier task than it would be if I felt separate. And so this song was written in that spirit. So I hope you enjoy it. I hear you, I see you, I feel you, Lord, I am you. No distance, no longing, a new day is dawning. Get used to the feeling of love and belonging. You're home. And I'd say to myself, Greg, you're home. Leave judgment behind you. Love heals you. Hope guides you. Begin to see clearly. Spirit's love holds you dearly. The word is your blessing. Speak kindly and surely. You're home. You're home. There's so much we can do to help each other move through this expression of life. Please remind me to say each and every day, this too is good. This too is good. I hear you, I see you, I feel you, Lord, I am you. No distance, no longing, a new day is dawning. Get used to the feeling of love and belonging. You're home. You're home. You're home. So we have a benediction tonight, and I would like to invite Clifta up for that benediction, please. Oh, and thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for being a part of this World Day of Prayer. Appreciate it very much.
I want to thank you all for showing up, and a special thanks to Greg, our minister, our reverend, with his song and his beautiful voice and love and light that he brings to us, and has put this together and shared this evening with us. So together we have opened our hearts to the divine in prayer. Jesus Christ said, "Peace I leave with you. Peace I live with you. My peace I give to you." We are one in our thoughts and prayers. With gratitude, we send divine light and love to all that are here, to all that we are to pray with and for, to this world that we live in. And I give thanks and I give gratitude for this evening. And that's all there is.